Hello, my name's Julie from So Unique, and I will pop all the links down below where you can find me on social media. Well, what a day it's been. The weather's not very good. I don't know what it's like in your part of the country or if you're not in the UK, but today's been a little bit mixed. We've had rain, wind, and sun. And I got wet earlier on because I thought in between the showers I'd get a bit of washing out. And I did, and I'm thinking, oh, it's drying nicely. And then it absolutely chucked it down. So there's Adele myself in the garden getting the washing in, getting soaked. So I ended up with bad hair. So I thought, I'm not filming today. But by the time it had dried out and I sort of floofed it up a bit, I thought it's not so bad. Well, it's Saturday today. And I know I said I don't normally film at a weekend at the minute, but here I am. Yesterday I was doing a little bit of sewing out in my sewing room here, and things didn't go to plan. So I got a bit fed up and thought, oh, just walk away, leave it, come back tomorrow, it'll be fine. So I did, and I decided to sit and finish off my hexes. I thought, well, I've got the evening, I can sit and listen to the TV, and I finished sewing my hexes. So here is my finished piece. Now, I took all the papers out. Oh my word, that seemed to take me ages. Oh, I think I took a little clip actually. I think I'll put that in next. But I used, hang on a sec, I'll have to find it. That's it. Well, I used one of the Sewline glue pens, and it's got blue glow, and yeah, it works really well. Now the blue, I know it's a blue glow, but it actually dries clear. So as you can see, all my fabrics are light coloured and there's no trace of the glow at all. So it's fine on whites or anything like that. But obviously you need to test it on your fabrics first to make sure it's okay, like with any glues. It's actually quite strong. It took a bit of doing to get my templates out. Sometimes I get a little bit carried away with the glue stick though, I must admit, so it's my fault. But once I'd finished sewing all my hexes, I gave it a quick press just to sort of crease the fold, so when I took the backing papers out, it was still flat. Now you can see everything is flat. All the fold over bits are quite flat, which is good, so that's why I press it. So now it's all ready for pressing, and obviously I can continue on with my project. But I don't know if it's because I pressed it that made the glue, I can't say permanent, but a little bit more sticky, or a bit more permanent than what I thought it was going to be, because I haven't got my instructions on my pen. I took the box out, or the packaging I should say. So if anybody knows, I'd be interested to know, because I didn't think this glue would be quite as strong as it is. And I must admit, I did tear one or two of my papers because the fabric had stuck that well to it. I couldn't get them apart. But no, I do like using the glue. It's just getting the papers out. I think I'll have to go a bit easier on the glue next time. Anyhow, I'm going to get the iron on and get this pressed, and then I will show you what I'm doing. Right, well, I'm going to press my hexagons to start with. Right, I've got a 12 by 12 box frame, which obviously I've taken apart. So it's just a white one. So I'll just pick that up from the range ages ago. I've taken the back off the box frame, and I have cut a piece of wadding, and it's just slightly smaller than the backing board. Right, I've just lost a bit of footage there. and I can't do it again because it's stuck. I've actually used some 505 temporary adhesive, and I have to say it's stuck the wad into this board pretty well, so I can't lift it back off. So what I did was I folded the wadding in half, sprayed some spray glue onto the wadding and a bit onto the board, folded it back down, patted it out, and then did the same on the other half. Just place the hexes over the top of the board and it's in position now. So what I'm going to do is, it's not easy one-handed this, fold that back halfway and give it a spray. Fold it back, pat it down, and then do the same to the top half. And I flip my board over, and now I'm going to cut the excess fabric off all of the way around. And it's all nice and straight now. And my piece of work is now securely in the frame. If you do have a frame that's got these little metal lugs on, you just need to be careful because they can get in the way. You must make sure they are firm against your frame, and you might need a little knife just to ease the backboard in, but it's in now. So we'll turn it over, and that's it all framed. Now comes for the exciting part. And I've got some MDF shapes, teacup, teapot and some bunting. Now we've had these for absolutely ages. I've got quite a few in my drawer. We did a workshop several years ago when we used to do the paper crafting classes, and these were what were left over because back then we used a canvas and we painted it and used decoupage papers and things like that to make a nice tea time canvas, and it was really good. So I thought, well, I'm going to use these shapes to decorate my frame. I've got an idea of what I'm doing, so it's time to get messy now. And I've just got some fabric scraps, a brush, and I'm using Mod Podge for fabric. So I've coated some of the fabric with glue and then stuck the MDF shapes on. So I've done that for all these and these. So now these have got to be left to dry, so I'm just going to turn these over so it doesn't stick to the board, and it does say leave it for 2 hours, but I will leave these overnight and come back to them tomorrow. Then I will get the bunting cut out and I will give it another coat of Mod Podge to seal it. And it's Sunday now, and the fabric has dried onto the wooden pennants. So I'm now just going to cut these out, and all I'm doing is starting from the bottom, the point, and cutting as close as I can to the wood. And then I will give these another coat of the Mod Podge on the front, and that will seal it. There we go. Yeah. So that's them all done. Oh, that needs a little bit of trimming, it's not quite close enough. That's the trouble when you've got a camera in front of you, you can't see what you're doing. Right. I can see some little marks on the clear ones, and I think they might still be just slightly damp because my sewing room is not obviously very warm at the minute. So glues are taking a little bit longer to dry. And now I'm going to put my Mod Podge on. I know you can't quite see what I'm doing there, but the camera's in the way. So all I'm going to do is just coat this with the Mod Podge and do the edges as well. There we go. I'm just going to leave these to dry. So what I'm going to do is pop them on a tray and take them inside the house and leave them in the conservatory, and hopefully they will dry a little bit faster out there because it is warmer in there, even though it's not a warm day. So then tomorrow I'll be able to pop these on the frame, I hope. And now my next job is to paint the teapots and the cups. So I've got a glass mat to work on, and I've got some small silicone sheets to actually sit the finished objects on, to let them dry. I have got some white acrylic paint. This was only £2. This came from the works. This is actually Adele's. I've got to pinch paint off her. And all these paints here are what I used to sell in my shop when we used to do the paper crafting. Obviously what was left over I gave to Adele, so I've had to pinch them back. So I'm going to be experimenting here with some colours, bit of mixing, to see what I like the best, what is going to go with my patchwork. So firstly I'm going to paint everything with the white, because obviously with these being brown, whatever colour I put on is going to be a little bit dull to start with, so I need to get a couple of layers of white on so it's all nice and bright, and then these colours all look nice on top. Don't you just love messy time? Right, well I've given both teapots and both cups the first coat of paint, and I have done a bit close there. I've done round the edges as well. I know it looks a little bit messy, but it'll all be fine when it's all done. So another coat might just do these, I'll have to say. Well, this will keep me busy for a little while. Well, while I've been waiting for the paint to dry on the teapots and cups, I've been having a bit of a rummage around in my drawers in my sewing room, and I came across this kit. Well, I've actually come across several kits. It's a Tilda kit, and it's a sewing kit house. Now I've had this for, I don't know how long, I've had it for a while, and don't you find that when you go to these craft shows that you just buy kits here, there and everywhere, and then when you get home you just put them away and don't touch them? I know I've done, and I'm sort of finding out several things that I'd totally forgotten about. So that is a sewing kit house which I'm going to make a start on. See if I can get that finished this week. And I'll show you a couple of other things I've found as well. I haven't found what I was looking for, but I found something else. This was the last thing I bought. It's a Ravenclaw Mdf. I don't know what you call it. It's a plaque or something. So I'm probably going to hang this up on my wall in my craft room at some point, because it's just sat on the side. When I bought it, I had the intentions of painting it, and I still might, but I don't know when. But if I put it up on the wall, at least I can see it. I might just put it up over there by my telly. Right, all what I'm going to show you are all Tilda items. Now I've got, I'm sure it's one of the sheep. I don't know if it was a reindeer or something. I'm not sure now. I can't remember. But I can't find them. I don't know where I put them. Anyhow, I found something else. This is the Tilda Hair Mother and Child Kit. So at some point, I want to get these done and out of the way. Now this next one I'm really looking forward to doing. I'm not sure when this Tilda stocking came out, whether it was last year or the year before, but I bought the kit and I just set it on my shelf, didn't I? But I would like to do this year. Maybe to hang on the stairs on the banister, so I might make another one, or I don't know how many, because I'd like to decorate the banister up this year and hang some stockings on it. I'm not really going to use them for putting presents in, because like Jake, well, I say Jake and Adele have got a stocking. They have got a stocking, but Jake doesn't really have a stocking. I mean, he's 22 and no. But Adele loves her stocking. So, and she's got a cat one, of course. And you have to fill the stocking and hang it on the door, otherwise she's not happy. And she's 29. So what I thought was, I'd like to make some stockings to hang on the banister. And just decorate that up this year for a change. And I am going to do this, because obviously we are halfway through the year now, and we've got to start thinking about Christmas. And of course you just don't know what's going to happen this year, because this virus might come back with a vengeance and we're all stuck in again. So it's going to be ideal really to get some gifts sorted out now, I think, if I'm going to make anything. But no, I need to have a look around and find those other two kits out at some point and get them done. I think what sort of spurred me on for this is yesterday, while I was upstairs on the computer doing all my bits and pieces, and I had to sit waiting for the computer to do its updates and that, and I've got a bookshelf in front of where I'm sat, and excuse me, I've got quite a few Tilda books and other things up there. So I pulled one out and thought, oh, I've not looked at this for ages. And I was sat looking last night, and there's quite a few projects I want to do, and I was actually going to start them today. And I thought, no, no, behave yourself. Let's get on with some other things first. But yeah, they're definitely on my list. So while I've been out here today, I've been having a little bit of a rummage around, because I'm waiting for paint to dry, literally. And yeah, come across these kits and thought, I need to get them made up, whether I keep them or give them away. But I'm going to do this sewing kit house. That's the first thing on my list to do. So I might start that tomorrow. And I will share my progress throughout the week. So I think this week it's going to be a very crafty makey week this week, which is a bit unusual for me. Because I am going to be down at the shop a bit more this week. I have got a lot of tidying up to do, because every time I go down, I'm always going down a little bit later. I'm on the post office run, and I don't get enough time to sort of get stuck in and get tidied up, because obviously I'm going to be opening my shop up a week on Tuesday, I think it is, the 7th of July, I think, if I'm right. I don't know, I'm sort of excited on one hand about opening up, but I'm a little bit apprehensive on the other hand, because social distancing is going to be a little bit awkward, because obviously the shop is full of stock and not a lot of space. But I think I've decided what I'm doing. I haven't got an acrylic screen, and there's no way I can really have one. It's not big enough really for that. So I think it's going to be a case of me wearing a face mask, and customers who come in are going to have to wear a face mask, and I will have gloves for them to wear if they want to come in and touch wall and touch fabric, obviously, because obviously it's a selling yarn and haberdashery and fabric. It's all touchy, isn't it, by people? And I think it'll be one person in at a time, and there'll probably have to be no children in. Because if I have to quarantine anything, I don't really have a space to store things for quarantine. So I don't know how we're going to get on, but we'll give it a go and see if it works. But I must admit, it will be nice to get back into a normal routine again, even with all the changes. So yeah, so I'm going to have a bit of a busy week this week. So yes, so keep your eyes open this week, and you can hear the boxes are rattling. I've already got my clips in there and all my cotton bobbins and everything, my scissors ready to go. So I think it'll be tomorrow I'll start this, and like I said, I will share the progress with you this week. And I am now going to go and test the teapots and the cups to see if they're dry, to give them a coat of paint. If they're not, then I'm going to go and pop upstairs and get my Cricut out and sort of get to grips with that again, because I haven't used that for over a year now, and get some vinyl cut out, and then hopefully I'll be able to paint again. And tomorrow, which will be Monday, I will be able to share a finished item, so that'll be good. And I'm really looking forward to this frame being finished. And I think what I might do is I might take it down the shop and hang it up down there, because then at least it gives inspiration to other people, doesn't it? And of course, it's an ideal gift to give to somebody as well, if they want to make something. Well, as you know, I'm making my maker's journal for this year, and I said I was going to keep it simple and not really do it. And then Adele said to me today, because she's been watching the vlog, and she says to me, "Some of the pages look a bit blank, Mum." And I says, "I know," and I said there would be, because I hadn't got a lot to put on. It's basically just a picture and a bit of sample fabric, because and I know what size bag I've made. And of course, then she says, "You need some stickers on there." So I thought, okay, fair enough. I thought, if I'm showing people what I'm doing, then maybe I want to make it a little bit more pretty. So I went online, didn't I? And I have fallen down the rabbit hole. I've ordered some stickers off a lady off Etsy, and obviously I used to be a paper crafter. That used to be my business, and I sold everything I'd got at home. I have no ink pads. I've given Adele all my pro markers and my Copic pens, everything. All my clear rubber stamps got chucked out. A lot of the other stamps got sold off in boxfuls, and all my favourites I've still got in boxes up on the shelf, because my favourite stamps are wood mounted stamps. And oh, excuse me, I'm going to cough again. And I thought, I'm not getting rid of them, because you never know. Because, as you know, I fell out with paper crafting and that a few years ago, and I've never really touched it. I haven't missed it until now. Like I said, falling down the rabbit hole. So I bought some stickers off Etsy. I've been on Amazon, and I've got some only little ink pads, little mini ink pads, because I don't want to go buy big ink pads again, because this will probably not last. I'll probably just keep these for the journal, and that's all I'll be doing, which is fine. I'm quite happy with that. The pockets that I'd made for the journal, they're using Tilda paper. Now the pad, it's all sewing related, so they are double-sided sheets, and there are some things to cut out. A lot of it is on the dressmaking side, which I don't do dressmaking anymore neither. I haven't fallen out with that. It's just, it was a case of sort of which way was I going back, because I used to obviously dressmake, and I used to sell ready-made, handmade clothes and that for people with children that I knew. And obviously word spreads and you end up doing more and more. And that went on for quite a few years. But obviously I don't do that anymore. I was going to go back into it. But I had some people in for classes for dressmaking. And I'll be honest, I didn't actually enjoy it anymore. And I'm not saying I will never dressmake again, because I will do. I know I will do, but at this moment in time, I'm not. So I'm getting off the subject here, aren't I? So yes, I bought some ink pads and stuff, and I've got obviously the sewing pad. And now I'm thinking, I know I've got loads of stamps with sewing bits on, so I can see I'm going to be ferreting them out. So I've bought a black ink pad as well, which also will do for my handmade by stamp that I've got. Oh, excuse me, I've got a dry throat. It's all this talking today. I need a cup of tea, I think, or something. So they should all come next week. So yes, I'll be decorating my pages up a little bit more now when it comes. I knew this would happen. I knew it would happen. Still, it's all in good fun, isn't it? I'm going to be happy because it's messy. And the teapot and the teacup have now, cups I should say, have now had their first coat of lavender paint. So it's 5 o'clock now, so I'm going to pop in the house, have a cup of tea, see what we're going to have for tea tonight, and then I will be back out later, probably give it 2 or 3 hours, and then come and give them another coat. I'm going to go and have a play around on my Cricut machine now. Well, my bunting's all dry now, so I'm just putting a little bit of strong double-sided tape on the back of the bunting, and for the cord I'm using I think it's an anchor or DMC thread. It's a cotton pearl number 6, I think it is. I'm just going to stick them on there. Well, I used a bit of obviously double-sided tape here, the strong one, and a bit of glue to stick the bunting to the glass, and now I'm going to leave it overnight now to set, and then tomorrow I will cut the cord down and give it a little knot and stick it in that corner, but I'm not touching it until everything's dry. I don't want it dropping off. Well, I've stippled another colour on top of the teapots, and I used violet, and that's all nice and dry now, so I'm going to give it a quick coat of a glitter varnish. Now I'm not sure how much glitter's in this, but I'm sure we'll find out when it dries. it's Monday morning, and as you can see, I'm down at the shop. I've got orders to pack, and I'm going to make a start on the tidying. So I'm stopping down here till about probably 2 o'clock, and then I'm going to potter off to the post office. Now, as you'll have seen from the previous clip, I have been sewing the Tilda house needle case thing, whatever it's called, and well, I couldn't wait for that to start last night. So I think I've shown you the 2 house pieces. Yeah, I got that all stitched up, and I finished the binding off this morning. Actually, you can't actually see that in the picture because I turned it over. So yeah, so I'm really a nice make. Like I say, I got a bit carried away yesterday because I'd finished doing my other bits for the day, and it wasn't as late as I thought. But I did stay up till gone 1 o'clock hand stitching, and I've got a sore finger and a sore thumb now. The amount of the needle that I was using, I don't know what I've done to it, but I bent it. And the eye of the needle was really sharp, and it's poked into my thumb. I was really trying to be ever so careful using it because I didn't want to have to get up and go back outside to find some more needles. But luckily, I found a pack of needles in the house on my shelf. So, but yes, and now I've got a sore finger and a sore thumb, and I actually pricked myself as well last night. Sewing that binding on was pretty hard going. Yes, so hopefully when I get home today, I need to get some bread on today because we haven't got any bread. Shopping's not coming today. Shopping's actually coming tomorrow now. So yes, we need some bread. We need a few things actually. So I might be doing some baking today also. We shall see what I feel like when I get in. I might, if I've got enough leftover veggies, I might make some soup because obviously it's the end of our shopping week, so that might be nice. But I am going to pop over to the little bakery that we've got here across the square in a little while, get myself a salad sandwich for lunch, otherwise I'll be really hungry by the time I get to go home, and I'll end up with a headache, and then it'll not go. So yes, so I don't know how much filming I'll get done today, but we'll see. Oh, I probably will, yes, because I want to finish off the there's always time for tea frame because everything's dried now, so it's just a case of putting the teapot and the cups on the frame and knotting off the thread for the bunting, and it's all done, so it's quite exciting. Oh, and it's Tuesday today, yes, that's right. And I spent most of my day down at work trying to do a bit more organising of the fabric, and it's actually taken me a lot longer than I thought. But it's getting there, it's coming together. I'm not going down tomorrow though, I'm having a day at home tomorrow. I've got a few sewing jobs to do, but then I'll be back down Thursday, Friday. Oh, hasn't it turned cold? I was absolutely frozen last night. I went to bed with a hot water bottle. I was that cold. Yeah, I can't believe it. End of June, hot water bottle. Anyhow, I have finished my patchwork frame. I'm not going to show it you tonight. I will show it you tomorrow because it's drying at the minute, so I don't want to disturb it. And I think it would be better if I can get some photographs, maybe weather permitting, outside. So it's looking really nice and I'm really pleased with it. And also I finished something else as well. I finished my Tilda house. And I made a mistake. It's all done inside. I've stitched these on this panel instead of stitching them on that panel. That's what happens when you've got a hubby chatting and the telly on. But I don't think it matters. I really don't. Thoroughly enjoyed making this. It was a little bit hard on the fingers because it's like quite a thick sort of foam that's inside there, and when you're sewing through and sewing binding, didn't half hurt my fingers, and I've stabbed myself several times as well, so I've got a sore finger for that. And of course the eye of the needle was quite sharp as well, that went into my finger, and it's still sore, so I'm giving my finger and thumb a bit of a break. So no more hand sewing just for a few days. I've got a couple of other jobs to do. But no, I am really pleased with that. It's turned out really well. And it does up with the Velcro at the back. So I'm looking forward to the next project now. I've got 3 sat there. So it's a case to decide, well, which one do I do next? I must say I quite fancy doing the stocking, so I think I might do that one next. Oh yes. What else have I got to say? Oh, I've been I made a little start on because most of my journal pages I do like a double page spread, so I've been working on one of the double page spreads, and I think I'm going to work on the next one for the picture frame, so I can get some pictures tomorrow and print them off. So I'll have 2 more projects to go in my journal, and it's getting to be a bit obsessive, Ollie. Oh dear, because I've had to buy some bits and pieces and they're starting to come now, so I think tonight I'm going to go and stick some more pieces in my journal. So yeah, so that's me then. I've just got dishes to do and have a bit of a tidy up tonight, and that'll be it. I'll be going off to bed then. So I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye. And it's Wednesday today. I had to think then what day I was on, and I'm going to be sort of working from home today. And if you can see just down there, there is Elsa on my Harry Potter cushion. She loves that cushion. Charlie's asleep upstairs. He's on the bed. Yeah, I've got some orders to do, and it's going to be a lot of hand stitching. I've got some Highland cows to make, so that should keep me busy for a bit. And there's 1 or 2 project bags I need to make, ready for posting out. I don't think I'll be doing much else today really, apart from podcasting with Adele, which will be later on. So yes, I'll catch you all a bit later. And this is the finished frame. I think it's turned out okay. I will try and get some better photographs though. It's just the lighting's not very good today. But there are the teapot I should say, and the cup at the bottom. And we've got there is always time for tea. And there's the bunting. Sorry for the glare, I can see myself in the glass. But like I say, I will try and get some better photographs later. But no, I'm really pleased with this, and I just need now to get some chain and some hooks for the back and find somewhere to put it. And it's Friday today. Some of you might think, well, what happened to Thursday? And to be honest, I don't know. I didn't pick the camera up at all on Thursday. Had a little bit of a late start to my day on Thursday because there were too many late nights yet again. But I spent most of the day down at the shop photographing Christmas fabrics. So if you've watched the podcast, you will have seen that I've got Christmas fabrics on the website at £2.50 for half a metre, and I've got a few boxes of fat quarters on sale, and some mugs, and well, there's going to be other things on there. So I'm busy doing that at the minute, and obviously after I finished there, I was on the post office run, and then Kevin came and picked me up, and we picked Adele up then, and then we went off to the range. Adele needed some fixative spray for her work, and I needed to get a few pens, and it wasn't too busy in there, but I think people have forgotten how to social distance again now. Oh dear, so I was glad to get out there and get back home. So of course by the time we get back home, it's gone tea time. So by the time we've had tea and doing things, the night's gone. Oh, and I spent the evening on the computer. That was it, putting more of the fabrics on. So then my day's gone. Sorry about that. I got interrupted by Kevin. I won't mind, but I told him I was filming. I wanted some quiet. Now I've lost my train of thought. Last night, yeah, putting things on the website. So that was really my day. So I didn't have time to pick up the camera. And then my battery was going flat, so that was that. So I thought I'd just pop on briefly, you know. Yeah. So I think what I'm going to do now is finish the vlog now, and then I'll have time today to get it editing, get it going on, well, export it and get it going on YouTube, but hopefully it'll be on YouTube tomorrow morning, or I don't know. I don't know. Anyhow, thank you for joining me this week, and yeah, it's been lovely having your company, and hope everybody's well, keeping busy, staying safe, and I'll see you all again for next week's vlog. Have a good week, everybody. Bye for now.